Good morning, it's me 𝘱𝑗𝐻𝑢𝘪𝘴 again. So we are continue our quest to one of the most interesting opening lines. As I mentioned at my first lecture, one of most underrated lines in theory of chess and theory opening of chess. We will talk about again Schliemann/Jaenisch Gambit. And today I will present one of most, let's say, current weapons from white side against that opening, including my own game against one of the best players of in US, Joe Benjamin. We had met in this game at US Chess League last year, and I think game was quite interesting. So I had the black pieces as usual, and usually me and Joe, we playing very wild games. It's very funny. We all, let's say we both are not that much young, but we usually having very interesting games. If you guys will find our history of our fighting, our games, you will see like none of those games went, let's say, properly, went normally. It was all games kind of wild. All right, so we had here, and Joe surprised me with this rare move, bishop e3. So as you see, it's discussion regarding d3 line. I have to mention, in general, against Schliemann Gambit, white plays three moves, which considers as a main weapons, and that's c3, d3. These moves are considering as a best try against the Schliemann Gambit, and I would say the rest of the moves they're not actually that much good, but they're still playable though. So here, what's the point of bishop e3? A few months before my game happening against Joe, I think at first round World Cup 2011, Gashimov beat Belarusian Grandmaster 𝘱𝐻𝑜𝐽𝑒, I believe. So he beat, actually no, not 𝘱𝐻𝐽𝑒, he beat some other Belarusian Grandmaster. I forgot, to be honest, his last name. But you could pull up this from first round of World Cup, or just type the game of Azeri Grandmaster Vulgar Gashimov, you would see it. He's the first who played bishop e3, as far as I remember, like a top level. Idea is very simple. As you see, white trying to stop black of playing bishop c5, so stop black bishop to stay there, and proposing black to take on e4. It's interesting. Let's say I run this position through engines, and looks like it's okay to take on e4, but it still looks scary because black is so behind in development. And honestly, again, I didn't see like concrete refutation what's wrong to capturing on e4, but still, let's say if I capture on e4 right here, I think white play even simply something like a castle king side. And since black so behind in development, I think, I don't know, I have a feeling, I would say, I could be in trouble in this kind of cases. This diagonal is very weak. This pawn could be very weak as well. There's always threats. There is, I don't know, some kind of jumps. I can tell you next. I can tell you what. If I will find something like more concrete in these lines, I'm going to definitely share with you my thoughts, my discoveries with you, with my fans. So at the game time, I didn't take a risk to play that way, and I played here bishop e7. By the way, Belarusian Grandmaster played here bishop b4 check, and after c3 he played bishop a5, but I think this is a wrong idea, and he pretty much quickly lost his game. So I think my way at least is better. Bishop e7. I'm not, as you see, I'm not trying to clarify situation with this diagonal yet. I'm not playing yet d6. I'm trying to keep my bishop on e7 being open. Why? Let's say if white will play inaccurately here, not c3, then I could reconsider my decision and jump on b4 with idea actually to trade my bishop on the knight and then shut down the center by playing this and creating this chain. In general, against the d3 line, when black facing against the d3 line. If they could trade dark color bishop for the knight and create this pawn chain, then they usually stand okay. So that's the idea. That's why I played here bishop e7 to stay flexible. So bishop c4. In fact, at the game time, I had expected this move because bishop e7 also creates not a threat, but creates the move castle king side. Now, if white wants to prove opening line, they have to try to stop me of making that move. So I had expected that, bishop c4, and here I prepared move knight a5. I think it's actually a very strong move and it's a good move because it's very logical. I had to do something. This is very annoying threat. Again, capturing on d5, it's not losing but very dangerous. I mean, having this position, for instance, playing is not pleasant. Kind of, all my pieces kind of crowned, right? So I think this is pretty much obligation for me to play. Again, white's move are understandable. Otherwise, if white will lose this diagonal, then after my castling king side, I have no problem. So again, my move is understandable. And here I found move which I was proud, and I thought this is very clever. I'm playing c6. There is no knight e5 since I have a check, and I will pick up his knight. And c6 will support me to play d5. As well, I could consider the idea of playing b5. So in fact, c6 as a move itself, it's actually still a strong move, but it leads me to a wrong idea. So here I misunderstood the position and I played d5, which I played that move, and right away after I played that move, let's say after move or two, I regret my decision. I thought, oh my God, I made a mistake. I shouldn't do that because my center is still very weak. And when I analyzed this position with my engines, I came up to conclusion the way how I should play, it's actually to play b5, which actually I thought as a main line as well. Well, pretty much forcing white to play queen b3 to keep staying on this diagonal and stop my castling. And then the move which I missed, I kind of underestimated. It's the move b4 to kick the knight, and then to play here, let's say queen a5, and then it's very funny preparing d6, moving my bishop, and maybe actually considering to make castle queen side, which seems ridiculous, but looks like it's the best way for black to play. I mean, position still, it's very sharp, it's very unclear, and again, I spent not that much time, maybe hour, maybe 2 hours. I still don't have clear vision of this position. Seems to me, guys, it's still very unclear. I'm going to still analyze this for sure, and I'm going to, when I'll be ready again, I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you as well. It looks like the first impression about this position, I'm doing okay. Because I have two bishops, and white could have an issue with light squares, as well as this guy here seems to be in a very interesting situation as well. I could consider to play here rook g6 to shut down this guy, and then probably my pawn will go on d6. This guy could go either a6 if I could, or maybe d7 to defend e6 square. Very interesting situations going on, and again, the first impression about this position, black should be okay. So you're welcome to analyze this position, and you're welcome, guys, to send me your thoughts. What do you think about this line? What do you think about this position? I mean, again, as I'm going to, let's say, summarize this situation. My opinion, the line is very interesting, definitely, but if black don't play d5 as I did in the first game, then it should be okay for them to play this position. So I made a mistake. I guess I thought, let's say, over optimistic here, and I thought, well, I mean, it's time for me to break through, and I played d5, which I thought, oh, this is natural move, supposed to be okay. I didn't really understand after this. My center still, it's very weak, and I have many issues here. I guess my original mistake, my original blunder, I would say, came when I thought, you know what, I could play d4. First of all, d4 is not happening because white could play that e5, and now I have to play here basically e4. Yeah, and also, by the way, my original mistake, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I thought I can play here move bishop d6, very clever move. Why it's clever, I thought, because, I mean, if white takes, then I'll take, and I have this, like, you know, check here. But the problem of bishop d6 move, what I missed in my calculation, it's castle queen side, and if I play d4, white actually simply snapping on d4, pretty much by any piece, by knight, by bishop, and I don't think so I can survive by having my king in the middle and without castling, let's say. I don't know, it seems to me terrible. Black's position, I mean, very, very, very bad. So that's what I missed, this sacrifice on d4, and since I don't have bishop d6 move, I had to play here e4. This part, by the way, Benjamin played terrific. I have to give him some credit. He played very well. Not e5, very strong move. Not d4, like a kind of blocking move. No, not e5, very aggressive. It creates so much mess, and I cannot really, let's say, finish my development. And at e5, and after this castle queen side, now my d5 pawn simply hanging. And now I had to make a decision to give up b7 pawn, and some players could be scared to capture on b7 by thinking, oh, my queen and the king are the same side, it could be some attack by b file. But anytime when you are having this concrete situation, you cannot just think, you know, like some kind of virtually. It has to be very concrete, very specific. And in this case, capture on b7, it's the best move itself, because it's not just taking the pawn, it's also creating so many threats, it's keeping your threats on d5, e4, everything. And pretty much black is already lost here. Well, that's the problem, by the way, I'm going to warn you, and that's the problem of this kind of opening lines, including Schliemann Gambit, because typically one mistake, sometimes even that mistake could be not so natural, not so, you know, shunnable, and that kind of moves, or let's say, as I did d5, could simply take you to the last of the game. So you have to be careful, and you have to really know your lines really well. What was happening to me, even myself, I've been playing this line for many, many years, and still, I know this line's very rare, but still, my decision about playing d5, it was completely wrong, and even myself, I guess I need more time to really understand this opening better. So after queen takes b7, I made, practically speaking, only decision rook b8. Even here, white could take on a7, but I think Benjamin made the right decision. He played queen a6, forcing me pretty much to play the end game. Since again many threats going on, I have to play queen d6, and after capture, so white remained extra pawn and better position, pretty much securing the game. And another strong move by Benjamin, very nice move, h3. It's about restriction, guys. I'm making sure that this guy will never jump on g4, and the bishop on e3 will be secure, and black would have nothing on the king side. That's about restriction. So there is no hurry to jump on d4 with knight, because knight on c6 still feel very secure, and there is no point white to gamble and take the pawn, because why would you gamble if you are better position? That's why h3 is the best move here. Very strong move. I had to do right now a6 to save my pawn. g4. Yeah, very nicely white getting more space. Again, the point of g4 is to take away f5 square, to take away h5 square from the knight, making sure black pieces will continue struggle here. And plus, this move also create a g5 threat and attacking d5 pawn. So after g4, I had to play rook c8. Now again, my only move to play here. And as you see, black piece is going to get squeezed. Well, here I found my last chance to create some mess. I played bishop a3, and I really had big hopes for that move. So, I thought, well, ba rook c3, I had some tricks, so oh my god, so it's good. And then finally, after a few minutes of thinking, I'm not sure how long my opponent was thinking here, it came cold shower, not a4, and here I realized I pretty much have nothing. None of my tricks actually working, and I can't really do anything. If I play rook c4, I guess white even can take pretty much on a3 and followed by knight d6. I mean, I think I'm just lost here, to be honest. So I couldn't see anything, and finally I played here bishop f8, and after bishop d4, pretty much game is already over. Now this is one of the threats, let's say, to shut down this and everything. It looks like my position is very terrible, so I must play knight e8, and that's the idea of this relocation. Now white simply working towards d5 pawn, and I don't see the way again how to organize any realistic counterplay for myself. I tried here knight c7, and another strong move comes, bishop c5. It's really important for you guys to understand the same principle works against isolated pawn or hanging pawns. It's always important for you guys to take care of the bishop opposite to the pawn. So it means if this pawn is light, the primary piece for black to keep, it's going to be dark color bishop. So after bishop c5, looks like my chance is completely going to be to 0. And after bishop c5, I tried rook d8 to defend my pawn. And now comes a very simple, I can't even call this as a tactic because I think it's a very simple tactic. And I lost my second pawn. Well, I saw this, but I thought at least I'm going to get some active play. But again, Benjamin never gave me any like realistic hopes. So after knight e6, at least some achievement. This guy on g3 becomes temporarily bad, but immediate trade. Well, here I gambled by capturing the pawn because I had to. Otherwise, I'm completely lost. And here, again, since this is big threat comes and my pawn hanging, so I had to create some counterplay by attacking b2. It was my last hope, but again, reaction by my opponent was incredible. I mean, the best, because he found very nice move, knight c5. So he kept his, head very cool. I mean, unbelievable. Knight c5, and now again I'm in trouble. Now hanging, defending, and annoying threat on d7. Well, I had to gamble again by playing AB. I had no choice. So I keep making the only moves somehow to survive. But I think it's over anyway. So I played here rook d6 by hoping to play d3, king b2. I had to play here. Again, the only move, at least trying to keep the king, maybe to play king a3 have some hopes, but king c1 the best. So bishop f1, again the only move. And I think here, basically, I'm lost, but maybe my last chance to pray for draw would be to play king g5, kind of stopping f4 move and try to tie this guy attacking g4 pawn. But in time pressure, attack actually doubled time scramble. I made a mistake. I played bishop c6, and after this, after a few moves, I just resigned. Basically, what's happening is this, and after bishop f3, g5 check, just in a few moves I resign. There's no point to continue this game anymore. What can I say? Well, obviously my opponent played very well, and he, since I made the mistake by playing d5, he never gave me any chance to recover. But again, I'm going to remind you, that's how we learn the lines. We play the games, we analyze. Even if you lose your game, it doesn't necessarily mean the line is bad or opening is not matching to you. If you like your opening, what you do, you analyze more, you try to really understand the position and try to improve your game. That's what I do. So I still believe this line is absolutely fine, it's absolutely playable, and I am ready to play this line again and again against pretty much everyone, because I still believe in my stuff. I still believe actually in this opening. I don't think so. The reason why I lost this game was because opening was bad. It's actually because I made the wrong decision and I got punished. So next time I'm going to improve and I'm going to make a right decision. That's what it is. You lose, you win, it's a life. But overall, this line about d3, I would say there is two issues could be for black to continue to kind of improve. Maybe against bishop e3, as my game against Benjamin showing black has some inconveniences. And if you guys remember my old game, which has been published separately, my game against Robert Hess from US Championship, when Robert played a very nice game against me, that game as well represent one of the, let's say, biggest challenges for black to deal with. But thanks to Azoy Grandmaster Timur Radjabov, we had some interesting line to improve against d3, fe, de, knight f6, castle king side, bishop c5, queen d3. Radjabov right now start to play a knight d4 move, which again, I'm not touching this subject yet because it's just happening now almost. I can refer the game, his win against Michael Adams, as well as his draw against Peter Svidler. You can guys analyze those games as well, and I'm going to probably very soon, not now, maybe in a couple months, to prepare material regarding those games. And when I will have my own vision, my own opinion regarding these lines, then I'm going to again share with you my what I think about those lines as well. But overall, black has no big problem versing d3 move or knight c3 moves. So I think they're doing okay. In my next lecture, I'm going to try to summarize all lines to give you most important tips, to remind you about most important tips, what to do. And I think I'll be glad if some of you guys will learn this and some of you guys will start to play, will add this opening as well from black side. Well, good luck, and I hope you like it, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see each other next time.